Hi everyone, welcome back. We're the Rebel Crow Psychic Show with your host Athena Silver.
Hi, I'm Anja River.
Tonight we are talking about magical symbols, the historical relevance, the magical relevance, getting deep into how to make your own sigils for magical purposes through your spell work and whatever witchcraft you're practicing. Isn't that exciting?
This is a complete episode where you're going to learn all the things. So stay with us. Yes, stay with us.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to get right into it. So tonight, we're going to start off with what magical symbols are and what they have been throughout history. A magical symbol is any sort of carving, etching, writing, that where you put your intention energetically through thought pattern and with your will to create something, to honor something, to release something. It has many different uses. But typically you find these different magical symbols used within witchcraft in its different various traditions. We're going to be talking about these symbols that go really, really far back in time. Some of them you've even heard of, and you may not realize how old they are and where they really, generated and got carried across the globe. So it's really interesting. It's definitely going to be a little bit more heavy on the history. So bear with me, guys. Come on. We're just trying to educate you.
Well, you are walking Google, so I'm going to be sitting back and learning with everybody else for a while.
Well, I don't mind. I really don't mind, it's fun. So anytime you're using a magical symbol, you want to make sure that you take the time to bond with it, to think about and gather the right energies for whatever working you're encoding into the symbol. So we're going to start off with one of the oldest symbols. Probably, in my opinion, might be the actual oldest symbol. It has so many different cultures that you can find it in. And we're talking about the spiral,
Oh. Yep, that's an archetype. That's a favorite.
Yeah,
well, for good reason.
It is. And it goes back to the primordial part of humanity. You can find it etched in stone in places like Newgrange in Ireland and in different sacred sites all throughout the world. It has deep roots in fertility, the cycles of life, birth to death and back again, and also the cosmos, because a lot of the people who use the spiral are very, like, astrology and the movement of the cosmos is heavy in their culture and in their religion. Mm-hmm. So it marks the passage of time, the continuation of the generations. And this is a symbol that they may not have known it in the Stone Age, but represents our DNA and ourselves as human beings. So it has a fertility aspect.
I was just thinking that, like the double helix.
Yep.
Strand. Yep. There you go.
And the snakes within the Caduceus symbol for the medical. Mm-hmm. That's where we get that medical symbol. It goes all the way back to fertility symbols, and the need to continue your family name throughout the generations and continuously to populate the earth. So it was very, very important to a lot of pagan spiritualities and mystery cults. All throughout the ancient world. It's still used nowadays. I know I use it in my practices, especially when I am helping with people with fertility issues. So fertility magic. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's an oldie but a goodie, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's such a powerful symbol. Even if you didn't think about all of the things that it represent or that it could represent, it's one of those things like the archetypes, they hit us so deeply because they are passed down through the generations.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that like if you've ever noticed, like I don't know. I remember being a kid and like just drawing spirals, you know, because there's something so calming and soothing about that.
Well, in
That's good.
medieval gardens, a lot of times there were labyrinths, and labyrinths have been used all throughout ancient world as well. And it's, again, it's the spiral as a
Mhm.
form of meditation to calm, you know, your soul and your spirit from whatever was going on with you at the time. It was a way
Mhm.
for you to organize your thoughts. So it features really straight to the core of us.
Yeah.
So the next one, I know you guys are going to love it. Be mature. That's all I'm going to say. We
Are you
are
talking to
talking,
me?
I'm talking to everybody because we're
I
talking
know.
about the, I want to say this right, fascinus. It is the penis that you can find all over ancient Rome. It was used as a lucky charm. It was
Really?
used to ward off illness, to ward off ill fortune. You can, if you look at pictures of like Pompeii, there are penises carved everywhere, like
Oh my
carved into the
goodness.
front of stores, carved into houses. You know, people had penis jewelry and penis wind chimes. I'm not even kidding. Like, Google it. Like, I'm not for real right now.
All right, say the name again. What is the name?
Fascinus, Fascinus.
Okay. There you
But
go,
it was
everybody.
for protection and fertility, and like I said, it warded off bad luck. So people make the mistake though with the fascinus, and think that, oh, that's just for fertility, and you know, all those Romans were all crazy and, you know, totally into sex. That was not actually the case. They saw the penis as very like protective, and it was very wrapped into the male role as the protector and the connection to creating life. So it was kind of like showing the man's version of like the pentacle and some of those more like goddess based symbols. So it kind of counteracts it.
Right. Or works with it.
Yes,
right?
definitely. Yeah, balances it out, I mean.
But more of like a yin yang thing, or,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
like the divine masculine, which is something that, you know, we talk about the divine feminine all the time, but like we need to remember there's another side to that. You know, that's a cultural kind of thing that we talk about the divine feminine a lot. And, you know, the divine masculine is just as important. It's an equal, you know, co-creator.
Yeah. And at that time in the Roman Empire, there were, especially with Roman spirituality, there were certain deities that were for men, certain deities that were for women, and they were served separately. You know, there were a lot of goddesses of the home and hearth that were never, you know, given offering to by the men. A lot of times the men were not allowed to be around for the rituals for those deities. So, you know, but I think it's nice that they will be remembered by, you know, lots of a city full of erections.
I know
all about starting new things.
I know what sigil I'm going to be doing tomorrow.
Yep. Right. So now we're going to go into one that is very old as well. This actually predates the previous one. We're talking about the evil eye. And in the Caribbean, it's known as the Mal de Ojo. It's pictured as an eye. I actually have one on my chain here. I don't know if any of you guys can see it, but it is used because jealousy, the look of jealousy, you know, it can sting, and that energy can get sent into your auras and mess up your whole life. You know, you could get sick. You could start losing, you know, in all your clients. You could start feeling like the world is falling through your fingers, you know?
Yeah.
And in the ancient times, it was all over the place. The Phoenicians and the Greek traders were really responsible for, you know, bringing this cultural exchange everywhere that they went, all the port cities. So you'll find it in like each ancient Egyptian art. You'll find it, you know, in different Greek and Roman art and Phoenician art and Middle Eastern art. It went everywhere. So that's why it is so like widespread. There are even a whole set of magic on how to cure the evil eye and how to prevent it, how to treat it. You know, it has such like a really deep and interesting lineage that from all the different corners and pockets where, you know, it's used. So
I think we should do a whole episode on that.
I think we should, because it's really interesting, and it's really like shows how creative people are in how they use that magical symbol.
Yeah,
they
right.
They really like add their own spice to it, you know? I think it shows like how powerful people are, you know, that they're able to take a symbol and use it to change an entire energy, you know, and ward it off and prevent it. You know, a lot of babies had talismans and stuff around where they slept with the evil eye. There are even superstitions surrounding it that if you're going to kiss a baby or look at a baby, that you should touch the baby so that the baby doesn't get like, you're adoring it, you're complimenting it, but it doesn't come off as jealousy. It comes off as genuine. Like it's like grounding that energy in a way.
Yeah, right.
Making a circuit between the giver and the receiver.
Wow, so that's very interesting.
It goes deep.
It's very interesting, and it's got a lot of like energetic qualities to it. So
I would say, in my opinion, it is one of the most powerful magical symbols out there. Because jealousy can be a really hard energy to repel and to keep at bay and to work with once it's infiltrated. It takes, like, you're literally going to have to clean out your whole house and clean out your whole aura, and it's a lot. So it's, you know, it's better to be like prepared for, you know, and expecting almost that you're going to encounter some of this energy, because the evil eye is very freely out there, and especially between people, because jealousy is one of our more primal instincts, you know. So we got to keep safe.
Right. And even the perception, like, is this correct too? Even the perception of jealousy. So maybe even if it's not there, it's still going to affect you if you have the perception that someone's throwing that your way. So that's something also, you know, when you're working, because you're working with yourself all the time. So, yeah.
So the next one is an Icelandic magical stave. Which is a magical symbol from the Icelandic Viking traditions. So this is more like medieval time. It is called the Helm of Awe or the Helm of Terror. It looks like a compass with runes that are bound in there together. It was used as a symbol like to go into battle and to protect the warrior and to bring like superhuman strength and resilience to them. It was carved into a lot of shields. It was imprinted into armor, into swords, on helmets. People had them tattooed on them. You actually see a lot of people, a lot of pagans have this tattoo on them. It's an important one because it was represented like to induce fear in your adversary and to protect you and to bring you like the winning side, you know, to help you win that battle.
So this is like a double, you know, energy.
Yes.
Because it's protective, but it's also offensive.
Yes, it's very versatile. What you'll find with a lot of the Icelandic and the different Viking traditions, a lot of their magic is very multifaceted. There's like a lot of different ways to do the same thing, but you can also do the same thing to get different results.
Okay.
So, and I will tell you that any of the runes and the bind runes, which are more than one rune together, those are some of the most potent magical symbols that are out there, you know, like the elder farthing and stuff like that. Or farthing. Sorry, I'm not Icelandic. Don't kill me, guys. I'm a fan. Not like, but it's true. And realize that language itself has power and intention in it. When you tell somebody to go to hell and you mean it, you're cursing them. You're sending them negative energy, you know? So even with writing these intentions out, you're giving it your power, your intention, your energy to manifest or anything that you're trying to manifest.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, to your point too, like I work with language with myself all the time, you know, so when you can also work with it with yourself, so to manifest better, you know. So like for instance, one thing that I changed recently, or I work on changing, is taking out certain words from when I'm talking about myself or what I'm going to do. Like for instance, like the word try. Like if somebody asks you, oh, can you do this for me? And I'll be like, I'll try, you know. I actually am trying to take that trying. There you go. I'm attempting to take that word out altogether. So it's just like, you know, because you think about it, it's like, I'll try. Well, that's really you saying it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's
but you're not saying, but it's not saying it's not going to happen, you know? So instead of doing that, just try to just be more precise.
I've been doing something similar. Every time I open my bank account, instead of going, oh, I'm poor, I go, wait, you're rich. You have everything you need. You know, yes, you may want more of it, but you have it already. And if it's not here, that just means you haven't come into possession of it. But once it gets here, you got to grab it.
It's so important to change the language that you're running in your head. So yeah, so thank you for bringing that up. That's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you like it. When in doubt, stick to the spiral and your penis shapes. You're good to go. That's all you need. But I really highly suggest that you Google the penis wind chimes. They do not disappoint. And yes, they are real.
Okay, my birthday's coming up, so
yeah, you are getting wind chime with penises to ward off all that bad luck from your house, and you better put it on your porch.
Front porch.
Yeah. Front porch. That's where they used to hang them, by the front door, to trap the evil spirits before people went in the house.
That's great.
Some people had penis doors.
So.
So why don't you teach us sigils? How do you do modern day sigils? I'm curious.
So I do work with sigils, like actually work with sigils on a pretty regular basis. What I like about them is like you went over it really, really well. You know, these are symbols. They're magical symbols. You know, they're helping us to penetrate layers of the universe with our will, you know, and being the symbol and the archetype, it goes past the conscious to the subconscious, which is where we are going to work the best. You don't really want to work with the conscious mind, with the ego, when you're doing spell work and when you're doing, you know, manifesting, because the conscious mind is going to bring up all of these things, you know, why you can't have it, or why this is silly, or why this doesn't work, blah, 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 blah.
Feelings
blah, blah.
of unworthiness and doubt.
Yep. So the subconscious mind is the very open space that, you know, it's above, it's your connection to the guides and the spirits and everything else, and the, you know, your connection to source. So when you're doing a sigil, you're going to bypass, you know, this is a visual thing that you're just bypassing that conscious mind. So typically what we do when we work with very simple sigils is, and we're going to show like a little diagram, but you take like a word or phrase and keep it in the positive, you know. So I'm going to do my example with the word health, but you could make it, I am healthy, or I have health, you know. Stay away from the negatives, like saying, you know, or you want to stay away from things like I want to be healthy, because then that sticks you in the want and not in
or
health.
even to get rid of unhealthiness, because you could wind up attracting more unhealthiness.
Yes, then the word unhealthiness is what shines through. That's what you're going to get, so you stay simple. It can be more elaborate than just the word health, but just using that as an example, right? So we take the letters, we take the HEALTH.
Before you get in, can you work with full affirmations and things like that?
Oh yeah. And then I'm going to explain too, like you can work with a full affirmation, and you can do the same thing. So we're going to cut out letters to make it easier to draw a picture from the letters. So, but just to use the word health as an illustration, because it's easy. So you would take the letters individually, cross out the vowels. So you're left with HLTH. Cross off that extra H. So now you have HLT, right? And then you're going to draw a picture with those letters. You're going to form like a symbol with those letters. And so we're going to show you how to do that, like what you could come up with. And then you could go and, add a couple little things just to make it pretty.
Yeah.
So what I recommend is, well, there's different ways. There's so many different ways that you can work with the symbol once you have the symbol. Some people like, I like to see it. So I like to put it in places where I can see it. But some people like to just charge it by burning it or putting it in a river or burying it or something along those lines. And then you don't have that anymore.
I typically will use it in candle work.
Yes, you can do that too.
I'll either carve it into the candle, or I'll write it and put it under the candle and burn the candle all the way down on top of it. That one, I'm going to say works well every single time,
Yes, you could do that
because
too.
you're layering all of those energies. So I'll use herbs with it. I'll use oils with it. I'll sit there and set the intention, through meditation, through visualization, through affirmation. There's so much. The more you add to it, the more you're condensing the power into that symbol, the more you're going to manifest it.
Yep, we know when you layer, the more you layer, the better. The better
you make it casserole.
You make a casserole. That's right. Yeah, everybody in my house, they will only eat casserole, so it says a lot.
Yeah.
So, but there's other ways too. Like you can actually, and I do this a lot. I'll meditate on it, because when you achieve that state of, that no mind state, then it's easier, sinks into the subconscious. So I do that a lot. And also visualization. So I'll, see myself. So if we're working with health, I'll see myself in a healthy state, like I'll meditate on the symbol and see myself in, the mind's eye in a healthy state, happy, healthy, running or something.
Yeah. I also have used different magical symbols while I'm meditating and visualizing the symbol in my mind's eye.
Yes.
One that sometimes I use from time to time is the Shiyantra symbol from Hinduism. It's like it's very geometric, and it's like condensing the power into the center of it. And it's just like every time I go into trance and use it, there's a particular teacher that has taught me that technique. And every time I've used it, it's like it opens up. It just opens me up energetically in so many different ways, and I'm able to go deeper than if I was to go without it. So you can use these magical symbols that way as well.
Sometimes I'll visualize the symbol going into my heart chakra.
Nice.
And then spreading throughout my body. And then there's this wonderful one that I've adapted from the Tibetan, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a star meditation where we'll add
it after the fact.
You send up the sigil into a star and it explodes into the universe.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. It just explodes everywhere. Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways that you can charge the sigil, or you can just draw it and tuck it onto your altar or into a space too. You don't have to do anything extra with it, but I find that it's better if you do work with it, you're working with the symbol. So there's one other type of sigil that I wanted to mention today, which I also use, and it's good for people who are not interested in, coming up with these little drawings, or maybe are not so visual. And it's called hypersigiling. And so this is when you are taking yourself and you are writing about yourself as if you were a character in like a book or a movie.
Yeah. That's really cool.
It is really, and it's nice because you can explain, like, so that maybe involves a little more of the conscious mind, but you get to sit and explain it and build something. So I like to use that for more longer term things, or more specific things that I want to manifest. It works really well for working through feelings a lot, because you can kind of explain the story or explain what's going on, and then write into it like where you feel your highest responses, and the outcomes that you'd like to get from that. So it's nice because you can really kind of think deeply about a situation and work with it, and so that's a lot of fun. I like that one a lot.
That's really
Writing
cool.
is fun.
I've never worked with that before. It's something I'm definitely going to try out. Didn't even know it existed. So right on. Very cool.
Yeah. So
we hope you guys enjoyed this history-based, fun, magical symbols episode tonight. We put out an episode every Thursday on YouTube and on all major podcasting platforms. I'm Athena Silver. I'm a professional psychic medium and a tarot reader and a witch. If anybody would like to have a reading with me, my website is readingswithathenasilver.com. My Instagram, athena.silver. My Facebook is Readings with Athena Silver, and my TikTok is at Athena_silver. How do they reach you, Anja?
Yeah, so I'm a certified hypnotherapist and a tarot reader, and you can reach me at Anja River, ANJARIVER, on Facebook and Instagram.
That's great. Well, we hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll check you back next week for another episode. Bye.
Bye.